Alright, so what I'm going to work on today, this is the driver's side or the left side. And I replaced this ball joint earlier. Surprisingly, it looks different than the other side, but nonetheless, it's a different part, i.e. it's a different aftermarket part. I got this from Pelican Parts because I had some credit. But in any case, I like the other one that I got from 928RS from Roger. That's what I like about his company, is that I think he hand selects items that he's going to carry, and you can kind of trust in the fact that it's, you know, of a certain quality and meets certain standards. Whereas if you go with kind of like the bigger box distributors like Pelican Parts, they offer too much variety, and I think they offer some cheap stuff that's not really worth buying. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. I'm on this side because this sensor, brake pad wear sensor, is broken. That was from the previous owner, so I'm going to replace that, and I'm going to go through that process of basically showing how that's done. It feeds through this wall, and then it plugs in up here. So I'll show you how that looks right now. So on this side, it comes up and it plugs into this plug right there, and there's receptacles right there. Alright, and then what I'm going to do after that is connect the caliper. I took this caliper off thinking I was going to replace these lines with braided steel lines. However, this nut was very difficult, or what didn't budge, and I was actually stripping the nut. I don't know if you can tell, but I actually stripped a little bit of the nut. And I was using the proper wrench, like a pipe type wrench or whatever it's called. It's got like a number of different points on it. So I could feel it stripping, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to mess with that because this is fine for the most part. And I'll just keep the lines for a later project when I'm kind of maybe upgrading the whole system. Okay? So that is, and then I'm going to finish putting the plate along with the whatever hub, the rotor, and then the caliper on, and then hopefully I can get the wheels on, and then work on alignment. Okay, so I just installed this cam bolt. I think it's what it's called. And I took a picture of it beforehand and noted exactly where it's at. So I'm basically there. I found out the torque setting for this M7 bolt. It's a 6 mil or 6 mil head, hex head, but it's a 7 mil bolt. And that's set at 15 Newton meters, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, this is that brake line. I have 2 crush washers, one on the inside, one on the outside. The packaging for the braided steel line said 12 to 14 foot-pounds. I'm at 12 foot-pounds. Let's see what that feels like. Okay, it didn't feel right, but nonetheless, I'm up at, I think I was around a little over 14. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill the brake fluid. You know, obviously I'll bleed it correctly, get all the air out, and we'll see if that leaks. If it does, I'll just tighten it a little bit more. I'll zip tie this up. That's the brake pad sensor. I'll zip tie that up to this line, and that's pretty much it. It's a little bit extra. I know what I need, so I might feed that in a little bit more. We'll see. So I was able to find the correct torque on these number 3 Phillips, along with that nut, cam nut is what it's called. So I'll redo the other side just to make sure it's torqued correctly. Alright, so what I'm about to do is fill the brake fluid in the lines. I already did the passenger side, the rear passenger side. My GoPro didn't work correctly, so I didn't record that. But I'm on the driver's side, rear, and I'm not 100% sure whether this is going to work, but I think it will. So what I did was I filled the reservoir, the brake reservoir, and I closed the cap. And then I'm going to draw fluid through this with a vacuum until I start seeing clean brake fluid. And so my only concern is that if air somehow gets sucked in, which I don't think it will. I think there's plenty of brake fluid in the reservoir. It's fully, it's topped off, even way above max. It's right at the cap. And so I'm hoping that it will draw enough fluid, but not too much to where it's sucking air into the line. So that's what I'm hoping for. I think that will be the case. So there's this cap. There's a that nut is a the bleed nut is a 7 mil. Okay, I'm going to create a vacuum. Okay, now what's coming out is clean. I can tell, but it's clean. Close that off. Okay, if nothing else on this channel, if I can discourage you from buying GoPro, I would have accomplished my goal. They unequivocally suck. So if you're thinking about buying an action camera, don't buy GoPro. Oh, fuck. Fuck me. I say that because I try to record all four breaks, but because of the failures of GoPro and their inability to be consistent, I couldn't get it all. So this is the front passenger brake. I'm going to pump it up. I have the brake reservoir full, and I'm going to draw brake fluid. I'm just waiting for it to be clear. I think that's some of the old stuff. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start up the engine and pump the brakes, and hopefully it'll start off soft, and then it'll harden up. So that's the hope. Start this bad boy up. It goes all the way in. Oh, there it goes. It's getting harder. If you can tell. Feels pretty hard. Okay, now the last part is to top this off. For the life of me, I can't necessarily see where the line or where the fluid is through the plastic. I don't know if it's because it's old or what, but nonetheless, I'm going to top it off. I'm going to try not to spill it because I spilled it last time quite a bit. So, alright, that's topped off. It's probably a little bit too much, but alright, last thing I'm going to do is check for leaks. No leaking. No leaking. No leak. No leaking. And no leaking. Alright, I think that's it.